Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you some different things you can do for your coil pot. I'm going to show you how to make a coil, but I'm also going to show you how to do some different things with coils and spheres to make your coil pot. All right, here we go. So first thing is you need to create a base. So you might get a slab like this, and then you need a circle and a needle tool, and there's a good chance that I'll just cut these out for you guys so that they're ready to go. So I'm taking a needle tool and I'm cutting out around the circle, okay? And now I've got my base, okay? Now, if you're noticing that yours is slightly uneven, you can pound on it a little bit to even it out, but I have some students that as soon as they get it, they'll start pounding the heck out of it, and then they end up with a really thin base, and let me tell you, you do not want a thin base because it's what holds everything else up, okay? Okay, so here we go. I've got my base. Now I'm ready to start creating some coils, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and get some clay, okay? And the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of work my hands with the clay to create kind of a coil-like shape just by using my hands, and then I'm gonna start rolling, okay? So now I wanna spread my fingers out like this, okay? And I'm gonna start rolling my clay, okay? And you're gonna kind of start from the inside and then go out, okay? Now, I might make this look easy because I've been rolling coils for years, okay? But some of you might struggle with this and it might take you some practice before you get it, okay? Now, one thing I forgot to get that I'm definitely gonna need is some water to create my slip, which is basically slippery clay. And I've got some tools behind me. I'm gonna need a fork or a stylus to create my scoring, okay? So I've got my coil, okay? And let me go ahead and get my water. Okay, you're just gonna take a little water container, fill it up 1/4 to 1/3 of the way. You don't need to fill it up all the way or else you're gonna be sloshing water. If you've noticed your clay is kind of cracking a little bit, you can add a little water to it to smooth it out, but don't use too much or else it's gonna turn into a slippery mess, okay? All right, I'm gonna adjust this a little bit because I think it's a little too close. All right, that's better. Okay, so I've got my base again. Now you might notice that my base is on a piece of mesh, and that's so it doesn't stick to the table, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I like to score with a fork, so I'm gonna score with a fork. You can also score with a stylus, okay? And scoring means you're roughing up the surface of the clay, okay? So you don't wanna just go one direction, you wanna go the other direction as well, okay? And I always compare scoring to like the Velcro, okay? And you can imagine that the clay molecules connect together like this, okay? So I've got this scored. Now I wanna score my coil. So I'm gonna take my fork and I'm gonna score down the side of my coil in both directions. Okay, now I need my slip. Now slip is slimy, watered down clay. And we just use water because it keeps the process a little bit cleaner. when you use actual like slippery, wet clay, believe me, the room turns into a disaster real quick. So we just use water and we create slip on the surface of the clay, which again is like watered down clay. And it basically makes the clay kind of like a glue. It makes it sticky. Okay, so now I'm ready to line up my score and slip with my score and slip here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna lay it down, okay? Score side down on to my base, okay? When I get this far, I need to score more, okay? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna score some more. And then line it up. Okay, great. Now, when you get this far, a lot of times people are like, aha, I'm done, I'm ready for another coil. No, you're not. Next thing you're gonna do is you are gonna brace the outside of your pot, and you're gonna use a spoon to seal the inside. Okay, so I'm sealing the inside. So I use a spoon. Now one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you are bracing the outside, because if you push too hard with the spoon, your clay is going to start pushing outwards, and then all of a sudden your clay is going to be going out like this. Okay, so you really do want to brace the outside as you smooth out the inside. Okay, then when you get this far, you can take a little bit of water and you can use your fingers to smooth out the inside. Okay, now I'm doing this quickly because I'm doing this in a video. You don't have to work quite so fast, okay? Then I like to take a look at the outside of my pot. Well, look, I can see some of my score lines. That looks sloppy. I don't like the way that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take my finger and I'm gonna smooth out between my score lines. Okay, now I'm not going to do all of it right now, but that's what you need to do. Okay, so that's how you add a coil to the base of your pot. Okay, now I'm going to show you some other things that you can do, because there are quite a few other things. I'm going to show you a pot that a student made, but they never actually finished. Okay, they've got a sphere here, a spiral here. Okay, here is another pot that a student made. Okay, never got finished because of COVID. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to add a sphere. Okay, so you're just going to take a piece of clay. Okay, and you're going to start rolling that clay with your hands to create a sphere or a ball, okay? You can also roll it against the table if you'd like. Now I've got a ball of clay. Now if I want to add it to my pot, what I need to do is I need to score wherever I'm going to add it. Okay, then I need to score my ball or my sphere, add a little bit of slip, okay, then add my sphere on to my pot, okay? Now, you're not done. Now you gotta look at the inside, okay? To really seal it on, I'm gonna hold the outside of my pot, I'm gonna take the spoon, smooth it out, okay? And now I've really got my sphere sealed on to my pot, okay? All right, so that's how you do a sphere, okay? Another thing I'm gonna show you how to do is make different kinds of coils. So, I'm gonna work my clay kind of into a coil-like shape. Then I'm gonna roll it. I've got my coil. Okay. One thing you can do is something called a cluster. Okay. And if you decide to do a cluster like this, okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna flip it over. Whoopsie. You're gonna flip it over, okay? And you're going to take your spoon and then you're going to seal it. Okay, got that done, okay? Now, I've got my pot. I can score and slip it onto my pot. Now, one thing you're gonna wanna do right away is add things around your cluster to support the sides of your cluster so it doesn't just fall over. So as soon as I score and slip this on, I'm gonna wanna put maybe some spheres or some other coils around it to support it, okay? All right, now I'm gonna show you how to do a spiral. Okay, so I've got my coil. I'm gonna turn it into a spiral. Okay, now I've got my spiral. I'm gonna take the other side and seal it. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to score and slip it onto my pot. Okay, so now I've covered basic coils, spheres, spirals, clusters. Okay, next I'm going to show you braids. Okay, I'm going to try to reuse these pieces of clay here. Okay, so braids are tough. And I seriously, like, I have some students that are like, that looked easy and now I'm trying a braid and this is not working for me, okay? You do not have to do a braid. These are just all options of things you can do. In fact, if you just want your whole pot to be a coil, one continuous coil, that's fine, okay? So I'm gonna do just a twist braid first, and then I'll show you what a 3-coil braid looks like. This is just a 2-coil braid. So this one, you're just gonna twist it, okay? And then once you have it twisted, you kind of have 2 options, okay? You can just try to score and slip it on like that, okay? Some people prefer to try to seal one side with their spoon first, and then the other side still looks pristine, and then they score and slip it on, okay? Otherwise you can score and slip it on, and then you can hold the outside and seal it, okay? So there's 2 different ways to do that one. Now, if you want to do a braid with 3 coils, okay? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna smush the 3 coils together like that, and then outside, outside. So you go right, left, right, left, right, left, okay? Until you have your braid, you flip it over, you seal it with the spoon. I'll show you what that looks like again, okay? Seal it with the spoon. Okay, you can always seal it more when you get it on there, and then you still have your braid on the other side. Now this is not the best braid in the world. This one's looking a little wrinkled, but one thing you can do is take a little bit of slip, go over your braid and smooth it out until you get it how you want it, okay? One time I had another kid tell me that their previous art teacher had called, like when the clay kind of gets cracks and wrinkles in it, they call it elephant skin.
Apologies for conflicting messages, everyone. We will start our staff meeting at 2:30. We've got a bunch of kids that we got to make sure to get home. So we'll see you in the listeners' room at 2:30.
Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, you just take a little bit of slip and you smooth it out, okay? But anyway, what they used to call the wrinkled, cracked clay was elephant skin, and then you just take the water and smooth it out. Sorry about that interruption there. Okay, so that's how you do a braid. If you want to add words to your pot, I do have stamps, letter stamps that you can use to stamp into your pot. You can also take pasta, but this is the last step you would want to do because it gets moldy. And you can take the pasta and you can push it into the clay, and then the pasta actually burns up in the kiln, but it still leaves the print of the letters, okay? But again, this is the last thing you want to do because the letters are going to get moldy. I'm not kidding. It gets very moldy and gross, okay? All right, so now you know how to do your coil pots, and if there's any part of the video and you need me to play again or review, I can do that. All right, happy art making.